Welcome car audio enthusiasts. We are in the sunny suburbs of the northern beaches of Sydney and we're here to see this fantastic little BMW, a sound quality system packed full of lovely amps, true tech gear, and Dan, the owner, is a Hyphonics collector, so I can't wait to see his collection. Stay tuned. Okay, Daniel.
Craig.
Good to see you, mate.
Likewise.
And it's been a lot of years because we obviously do actually know each other from way back when.
96.
Let's talk about when we first met because that was a bit of a strange occurrence, I think. That was when I was in the car audio scene, if you like, had the car. I hadn't known you, but how do you recall that meeting?
Oh. Well, I was a quite young fella back then. I do remember catching the bus to, I think it was to the showgrounds, and I happened to see this green Mitsubishi Magna. You know, obviously into car audio, I was looking through the car and I'm like, wow, this thing is an absolute beast. And you know, back then I was working with my parents at the time in an amusement machine parlour, and I was out the front and standing there, and lo and behold, driving down the hill, there I see this green Magna from the car show. And I actually think you turned your head and you looked at me, and I looked at you and I was like, love at first sight. But no, I think you actually turned around and came back and you were like, I think I remember you from the auto salon.
Yeah, I think so.
And you pulled up out the front and you came out, and I'm literally drooling because I absolutely fell in love with your stereo. And you walked in and you introduced yourself, and here we are.
Yeah, something like that.
22 years later.
So you were into car audio before then?
Yes.
You obviously, like myself, an avid reader of car audio and electronics, and you know, used to get the magazines. Yeah. Now you would have been what, 17? 16 at the time.
Yep.
So who do you remember to be that inspiration to get into car audio? What is it that who was it, or what was it that inspired you to get into car audio?
I think my first kind of initial car audio kind of love was, you know, a few of my family members had stereos, and I was always into electronics. So I was kind of the guy tinkering with you know, cars and you know, car audio. And my brother was DJing.
That's right.
At the time, and he said to me, he goes, Dan, why don't we put a stereo in my car? I'm like, yeah, sure, we can do this. No idea what I was doing, but and you know, my cousin at the time, he had a stereo in his car, and we're kind of three of us banging our heads together. You know what? Let's build a sub box. So we did that, and we bought an amp, and you know, I wanted something bigger and better for him, and you know, then we outgrew that system and just kind of really evolved from there.
Yep.
I remember cutting out all the tech articles out of car audio and electronics and kind of put them in a little sleeve folder, and just kind of going back and learning and teaching myself. So I think that's kind of where I kind of fell in love, was more on the tech side. But reading all the magazines, reading the cars, cutting out some of the best articles. You know, back in the days, Rockford Fallsgate was massive, and Orion, and Soundstream and Image Dynamics. You know, I remember them absolutely clearly. So a little bit out of reach for me. I was, you know, the money wasn't there, but yeah, no, it definitely was something that I was looking forward to as years go by.
Now this car I do remember from back then. So you still have this BMW, and it would have been 1998, I think I recall this, or 97 possibly. Yep. What have you got in it now? What system are we running now?
So to start from the top, Pioneer P99, running through to a Arc Audio PS8. From there, it's dispersing out to a couple of TrueTech S2 amps, which are running Dyne Audios up the front, Esitar 2s, which is the E650s, and the tweeters are the E110s. I've got another TrueTech S2 sitting somewhere to your left. That should be going in the car pretty soon.
It's a nice system.
With the E430s going in as well. And there's
Substage?
substage. There's a Rockford Forsgate Power 1000.2 running a Focal 33KX.
That is a nice system.
So yeah, and this is my daily driver.
I can see it's quite nice, the work. Who's done the install work?
So the install was done by FHRX Studios. Daniel was the fitter back then, working in conjunction with Marty. He gave me a lot of advice. And funny story, actually, I just went in there to get myself an upgrade speakers. Like didn't plan on doing anything to this car. It was just kind of a daily driver, small little stereo, but it evolved from there.
As it does. Out of control. Now, I'm also told you're a bit of a old school collector. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I know you're an old school collector, all right, because I feed your habit.
Yes, you do.
So what's your...
Sorry, babe.
Yeah, it's all right. No one's listening.
All right, okay.
Right. So what is your iconic piece of equipment? This is where you're going to get into all that trouble. What is that piece that you don't have, but you look for every now and again, that you know that it's out there and one day it'll be yours?
You know, I was thinking about what would be that iconic piece of equipment, and I'm going to answer it like this. I don't have an iconic piece of equipment. I look at, all different brands and just appreciate them for what they are. If I had to put my finger on one particular item, there's a Focal front stage package, which is worth something like 25,000, which is, I think it's not the beryllium, but it's the step up from that. And, I've got Focal subs and I've got a couple more as well. So, I always loved the Focal design of those speakers. And probably, maybe some image dynamic subs, Craig.
Yes, might have a few of those. That's look, you're very much on the sound quality side, aren't you? You've never really been a bass head, from what I recall.
Oh, there was a period of time where I did have some Rockford Forsgate Power 15s that I
Great subs.
unfortunately sold to a friend of mine who destroyed them. But, as a friend of mine, Craig Harrison, pointed me in a direction where I can buy a couple of more, I did, and I have them as well. I'm not sure what car they're going into, but... it
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You've got them.
I've got them. They're a bit of a sentimental item, those subs. I bought them when I was 17, and I think I saved for like 6 months for those subs. And I remember my parents driving me to ride a car audio at Chatswood, and people were just staring at me going, what is this kid doing? I couldn't even hold these boxes, these two 15s. I'm like 16-year-old walking out the store going, I got two Rockford 15s. No car, but I don't care. And they sat in my room for quite some time, but yeah.
So that moment that you'd sold them, obviously, and to your friend, and you now know that they're gone, and you feel pretty bad about it, was that possibly the worst moment in your car audio history that you have, or? Clearly not. I can see I pushed a button. Tell us what is your worst car audio moment? The one that nearly broke you?
Okay, so the pinnacle moment probably was in about 2003, 2004. I bought an Audi A4 back in 2001. I bought it for my 21st birthday, and I saved my ass off for it. First time I actually laid eyes on the Audi A4 was at Strathfield Car Radios in Brookvale when Audi was in the British Touring Car Championship, and I remember seeing it up on the wall, and I'm like, that's the car that I want. Bought the car, had big plans. Obviously the stereo was the first thing I wanted to do. Been around the auto salon scene, seen all the interiors, seen all the stereo, seen your car and other cars as well.
Big vision, yeah.
Big vision, big plans. Got introduced to an interior guy, I'm not going to mention the company's name, who had an affiliation with the stereo guy. Went there, signed up for the interior, met this stereo guy. At first meeting, blew my mind. Like, still to this day, he's probably one of the most intelligent car audio fitters that I've ever come across. Unfortunately, his life progressed and my life was kind of still focused on getting this car complete. And, he did a lot of work on the car.
So this started when? 2003?
2003. And the car sat there for nearly 8 years. And during that time...
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years. I heard all my friends going, "Are you mad? What are you doing? Get your car, get it out of there." And I was working at the time, just still going, no, he'll finish it. I always try and see the good in people and hopefully they'll come through with it. But unfortunately, I think it was about a year and a half ago where I just had to say to him, "Look, got to part ways." The car was in and out. So the first period was 8 years, came out for a little bit, went back to him, sat there for a while. So it was kind of back and forth. And probably about a year and a half ago, I literally got all my stuff.
So you're talking 2016?
Yep.
That's a long time.
That's a very long time. I'm a pretty patient person. I believed in him. I thought he was going to come through, but...
That's a lot of patience.
Didn't work out.
No. I'm familiar with knowing people that have had similar experiences in the car world. I myself have had issues with cars over the years. You take them to places who you think are reputable and you get let down. And you give people the benefit of the doubt. Yep. And I don't think there's one person that I know who owns a car, be it doing up a car, even with or without a car stereo, that has had an experience that they'd rather forget. That everyone's had that being burned, and that probably is because of such a unregulated industry, the aftermarket car industry.
It's a very volatile industry. It's you see a lot of people here one day and gone the next, and you also, as you meet people along the way, you kind of build relationships, and there's so many people that talk the talk, and I can do this for you and I can do that for you, but
So what happened to the dream? The dream car? I mean, so a year and a half ago you pulled it out.
Yep.
It's not finished? It is finished?
Nope. It's not finished. I'm hoping one day it will.
Where's the car?
Right there.
I think we should, can I have a look? Can we look at it?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
I'm good. I think I've kind of got to the point where I've accepted it, but I'm ready to...
I can see it's not... Yeah, it's a bit of a sensitive topic.
It's touchy. Yeah, it is a bit touchy. I still would have really liked him to finish it.
For sure. It's to get the same person to see the job through is pretty critical.
Yep. But I think I got to a certain point in my life where I had to part ways. Yeah. And it was tough. It wasn't easy pulling the car out of there because I really felt for him as well, because he also grew an emotional attachment to the car as well. And at one point I thought he didn't want to give me the car back. And I remember having a conversation to my wife, and she's like, "Where is this car? I haven't even seen it." And we just got married. And I said, you will. And I brought her home one day and she's like, "That's the car." And I went, "Yep." She goes, "Wow, now I understand why you were trying to finish this car." And I guess as years goes by, she kind of understands and she kind of, gets it. Doesn't want me to spend a single cent, but kind of has a bit of an understanding of how emotional I'm attached to that car.
Let's go have a look.
Let's go.
All right.
So here she is. Pull her off.
Yep.
Haven't taken the covers off in a while.
Dust. Sorry. Holy moly.
Jump in. You can...
Oh, wow. This is show quality installation. Half finished. 3/4 finished.
Probably say half to 3/4. I look at it and think it's probably 3/4, but realistically it's probably half. The trim's been in the car for probably 10 years now, and it's seen the sun twice out of the 10 years.
Look at those grill. Look at the speaker. I can see what you're planning for on the front stage now. Wow, that's meaty door trims.
Yep. I think he spent probably better close to about 3 to 4 months working solidly on those doors. Each of those speakers is enclosed, so they got their own.
They've got their own
enclosure.
Yeah. Look at that, and all the cables run.
Yep, all the cables run. They're all sitting there.
And in the back, that looks like a sealed chamber for 2 subs, down firing or?
Down firing, you're close. It's not a sealed chamber. The design was a passive radiator.
Oh, okay.
Design.
So one of them's a passive radiator, or?
No, one of them is one of the focal 13s,
Yep.
firing downwards into the boot with 4 passive radiators.
So what goes in that one?
So 2 13s, 1 13,
Oh, okay.
1 13.
One firing up, one firing down.
No, both firing down.
Okay, yep.
Ported into the boot.
And passive radiator in the boot.
Passive radiator, 4 of them.
And I love the way, that's a work of art, no question about it. But I love the way your speaker pods are actually angled up because to avoid all the reflection off the glass, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's epic.
Yeah.
That's very creative.
If you I have to give it to him. Like his craftsmanship was second to none. If you look at it from the front, the way the seats are actually flowing to the parcel tray, it actually looks like it's meant to be. Now the rear seats and front seats are S2000 seats. They're not original Audi seats. And we modified the seat frames to suit those particular seats. We also modified the rear seats, refoamed, custom trimmed to fit the sub box in between the 2 seats. So yeah. And
what's the opening for there?
So the opening is for the passive radiators. So the sub box was meant to come into the boot, float in, so it's not actually bolted down, and he was going to port it up through the parcel tray.
And all the equipment?
Is hiding in that cupboard over there. Hiding from the wife, actually. The rear speakers, obviously, these days, they don't really judge on rear fill speakers. But hey, I was brought up in the 90s, so rear fill was still in back then.
I think you'll find that with rear fill, you can achieve a very nice front stage if it's done right. I mean, this is incredible. This is a work of art. I feel really, I don't know, I feel like I've dragged up something that's probably not, sensitive topic, and obviously your heart and your soul's in it, and it's sat here for so long. That's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough.
So what is your plan for the car?
Look, at Christmas time, had a lovely time with the family. Relatives over, a few wines, kicking back. I came out here secretly on my own and just looked at the car and kind of visualised what I wanted to do. I remember, having a few words to you, over the phone, just saying, look, I am adamant that I will finish this car if it kills me. I've gone this far, and I'm not going to let it bring me down, and I'm not going to not finish this car. I'm committed to doing it. So, finding the right person to do it is probably my biggest challenge. Knowing their quality and craftsmanship is if I can find someone nearly as close to, the guy who had the car, I'll be pretty happy. And I think the day I jump in it, probably with my brother, will be a good moment.
That'd be a great day. I'll tell you, while we're on the topic, because of all this probably leads into a really good question, is what is the one piece of advice you would give someone starting out in car audio now? Given this, what would be that advice?
I guess just have fun. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. Oh, starting out, geez. If you're happy, that's all that matters. You know, don't chase someone else's dream. Chase your own dream. You know, that's all there really is to say about it. You know, there's always going to be something better. There's always going to be something newer. You know, and there's always going to be someone saying, oh, I can do it better. But at the end of the day, if it makes you happy, then just follow your heart, you know, and follow your dream, and that's it. I'm still following my dream and my heart.
Let's check out some of this old school stuff you've got.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go.
So, which side do you want to start? Do you want to start new school or do you want to start old school? How did I know? Come on, you can do the reveal. All good.
Hyphonics. Oh, more hyphonics. Oh, Daniel. Oh my God. Wow. I'll just put them there. Okay. Oh, man, Streetwise. Look at these beautiful little Mercury, 40-watt Mercury amplifier. And you've got almost the whole collection here. You've got Olympus, Europa, Odin, Mercury.
Yep.
You've got your Zeus.
Two Zeuses.
Series 7, Series 8.
Correct. Series 7, Series 8. Fully redone by Stephen Mance.
So you sent these to the US to get done?
Sent them back to him to be completely recapped, redone. Brand new RCAs, new power.
You can tell they're
old school beautiful.
Old school cool, so heavy, quality components.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I think he actually, I know, he repainted the two Zeuses because they were they weren't in great condition when he received them. And look, to be honest, the work that he put into them, looking at them visually, they look spectacular.
It's outstanding. And you got the Colossus.
Yes. That was one amp that I desperately wanted out of the collection, was the Colossus Series 7.
Beautiful. A little symphony amp.
Yeah, a little small Italian-made symphony amp.
Scanspeak mid-range. Wow.
They're for Audi. So the two Scanspeak ring revelators and the two 4-inch mids as well.
Yeah. Oh wow, check them out. They're awesome. Wow. They're all for the Audi doors.
They're all for the Audi doors, and the ABIs that you went past, the 6.5s, they are for the Audi as well.
They're your mid-bass. Geez, they're heavy.
They are. Yeah, LX series actually. They're one down from the BSMs. I had a friend of mine at the time who had them in his car, and I absolutely loved them and went, yep, I'll be putting them in the Audi.
And you got, yes, classic vocals. Whole bunch of lovely Streetwise gear here.
Let me just swing past you here and
there's more.
Open up the cupboard for you.
Oh my God. This is all Audi stuff. This is all, I can tell. Audio control underneath for your grills. Oh man.
Your DDC, your Epic 160.
What's this?
And the DQXS.
That's the DD.
That's the Digital Design Z1. Your two Audison LRX 4.1Ks. Your your two here, and there's another two in that cupboard, which is your you know, your passive radiator. Oh, there's a little Ulysses hiding under there too as well. Another little Hyphonics one that I had stashed away.
Look at that.
The wife doesn't know about this, so this is not. Please don't go public with this because she doesn't know. She'll probably divorce me.
Oh man. Passive radiators, that's just insane. What a design. Wow. I'm blown away. This is, the gear that's going in that car, it's old school. Yep, it's old school. So mate, this is fantastic. What a great Hyphonics collection. It's, you know, these are highly sought after by people, and they're just a beautiful amplifier. Yeah, love it, love it. Mate, it's been really awesome talking to you, dude.
Thanks, bud.
It really has. Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate your time.
Pleasure having me here.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We've just seen Dan's car, and on a bit of a sad note, we've seen the Audi as well. I'm a bit lost for words because it's really heartbreaking to see an awesome sound system that sat for nearly 20 years and isn't complete. I'm not quite sure what to do, but I feel like I need to do something about this. But I think stay tuned. We'll talk further. Thanks, everyone.